as Emperor Norton is my witness.
Which one?
The real Emperor Norton. As Emperor Norton is my witness, the Emperor's Bridge campaign harbors no ill will towards Willie Brown. In fact, we'd be delighted if you joined us in our effort to name the Bay Bridge for Emperor Norton in 2018, a fitting present, we think, for the Emperor's 200th birthday. On behalf of the Emperor's Bridge campaign, thank you so much to the San Francisco History Association for the honor of this wonderful 2016 Ron Ross Founders Award. The SFHA and Ron Ross are amongst the earliest and staunchest supporters of the campaign and our work, and we're grateful for their ongoing friendship. When you're a startup, which is basically what we are, it's important to have early champions to catch your vision. In late September 2013, about 40 people gathered at a new Tenderloin bar called Emperor Norton's Booze Land to consider next steps. Over the previous 6 weeks, my Change.org petition to name the Bay Bridge for Emperor Norton had raised 4,000 signatures, but we have not been successful. Not yet. Our board today includes people who were there that night and who came into the campaign's orbit within the next couple of months. In addition to myself, 2 of those board members are here tonight, known to many of you in this room for reasons totally unrelated to Emperor Norton. This is Joseph Amster. Please stand. And one of the Booze Land 40, Christian Oxett. Also serving with us are Sabine Luisi, Aaron Almanza, Mark Hogan, and Devin McCutcheon. And we're very lucky to have as advisors Ron Ross and Judy Leff, as well as Charles Fracchia, founder of the San Francisco Historical Society, and John Law, founder and leading light of countercultural movements including the Suicide Club, the Cacophony Society, the Billboard Liberation Front, and Burning Man, and someone who understands on a deep level how important Emperor Norton is to keeping the San Francisco and the Bay Area in touch with its true self.
Hooah! Hooah! Hooah!
In the first year after that Booze Land meetup and leading up to the campaign's becoming a nonprofit in October 2014, we positioned our bridge naming concept as a campaign within the campaign. And we built out a larger cultural and historical mission in which we now are working on a variety of fronts: research, education, advocacy, to honor the life and advance the full legacy of Emperor Norton. Balancing the life and legacy of this particular figure can be a tricky business. Scholars of the historical figure Jesus often talk about the Jesus of history and the Christ of faith. I don't want to push that metaphor too far here, but in researching and teaching about Emperor Norton, we are challenged to reckon with both the man and the myth. The myth of Emperor Norton is cherished by many, and it's an important part of what keeps him alive and relevant. But sometimes the myth and the man are at cross purposes. There's a headstone in Colma claiming that Emperor Norton was born in 1819. But a number of us in the campaign, including myself, Joseph Amster, Judy Leff, and Julie Driver, the Emperor's great-great-great-niece, completed a research project in early 2014 showing that's not the case. A few months ago, I published a long essay on the campaign's blog on the results of my research, assisted by Lindsay Westbrook, who is not here tonight, but is a regular attendee of the SFHA meetings, showing that there doesn't appear to be any documentary evidence that Emperor Norton actually wrote or said anything like the Anti-Frisco Proclamation that's attributed to him. Some who don't like that finding may be on our board. They may even be in this room. But one has to follow the evidence where it leads. And what impresses me more and more as I do my own research is that the Emperor Norton who presents himself in his own writings is every bit as wonderful, often much more wonderful, than the received caricature of him as a cranky but lovable coot. Last summer, the History Association awarded the campaign a generous research gift to help us research, write, and publish a book of selected proclamations of Emperor Norton. The great historical gift of this project has been the opportunity to delve deeply into the full body of his decrees to see what he actually wrote in the 1860s and 1870s against political corruption and corporate fraud, for treating marginalized groups of people more equitably, against religious sectarianism, for fair labor practices, and for using science to advance the common good.
Yes.
It strikes us that this is a person who is more than worthy of having his name in lights on the Bay Bridge. Not least given that it was he, Emperor Norton, who set out the vision for the bridge in the first place. I'll close with a brief note about our latest project. As early as 1861, the cartoonist Edward Jump began to feature Emperor Norton in his work. The same year, the new Tucker's Hall opened in San Francisco with a comic opera titled Norton the First, or Emperor for a Day.
Protector of Mexico.
In 1863, a German artist assigned his name T. Grove to a painting in which he depicted Emperor Norton as one of the large cast of characters. And by the mid-1870s, one could pop into a San Francisco shop and buy a sculptured figurine of the Emperor. Emperor Norton's legacy in visual arts has grown substantially in nearly 160 years since he declared his empire in 1859. Beyond that, from the 1930s to the 1960s, there were a number of dramatic portrayals of the Emperor on film. And since the 1950s, there have been a half dozen or so operas and musicals about Emperor Norton, plus an impressive array of songs covering a wide terrain of pop, rock, folk, and jazz. As part of its mission to advance the legacy of Emperor Norton, the Emperor's Bridge campaign long has been interested in the variety of ways in which the Emperor has been taken up as a muse for art. To engage others in this aspect of our mission, we are creating a comprehensive, authoritative, searchable digital archive of representations and interpretations of Emperor Norton in the visual arts, in music, and in film, the mediums that are most readily presented online. We're calling this archive ARENA, Archive of Emperor Norton in Art, Music, and Film. ARENA launched this week with a visual arts section, 4 annotated slideshow galleries featuring artistic renderings of Emperor Norton from the early 1860s to the present. Paintings, drawings, engravings, illustrations, comics, sculptures, fabrications, public art. You can find the archive on our website, www.emperorsbridge.org. In fact, go to our website, emperorsbridge.org. You'll find our original research about Emperor Norton and loads of information about our projects and events. We also are in the usual social media spaces, Facebook and Twitter. We have a newsletter. This November marks the 80th anniversary of the Bay Bridge, the Emperor's Bridge. We plan to make this a wonderful opportunity to focus public attention on who Emperor Norton is and what he means. We hope you'll join us. Thank you so much, and thank you again to the San Francisco History Association for this fabulous honor.